So I'd love to welcome you to how to bridge the gap between your vision and reality. This training today is very important to help the visionary leaders, business owners, entrepreneurs, and change makers to actually land, materialize, realize your beautiful vision into your reality, into your life, into your business, into your bank account, so we can really land and ground these beautiful, high-level consciousness ways of being and living and materialize them into this world. And I do this work because I know it's for your life, but also the ripples of transformation that you create from really being, really embodying all that you came here to be. And so that's what I'm holding space for you today as well. So lovely. So first, let's talk about your vision. Let's talk about the vision and how to support you to hold that vision while that vision starts to ground and materialize into reality. So this might sound really great and easy. There's a lot of increased popularity around the subjects of manifestation. I've noticed even my teenage girls are really into manifestation. It's become very popular in their networks. But for me, this work goes very, very deep, and it's not just a new trend. It's a very profound practice, and one that I believe needs to be deeply honored and respected. And this is about you really tapping into your creative power, and our power has impact. Our power has impact. So in a way, we're playing with this firepower. And as we know with fire, right? As we know with fire, it can do beautiful things, heat our home, cook our food, be beautiful in the fireplace or a candle, but it can also burn. It can tear the house down. It can destroy. It can kill. So without being too dramatic, for me, it's really important to honor and acknowledge your creative power, just like we'd honor and acknowledge firepower, right? Our creative power, our power. So for me, this is a really, really, really important practice that needs to be honored deeply. So part of doing that is, for me, from the way that I teach this work, is to get very connected to what I call your heart-aligned vision. Your vision that's guided by your heart, your higher self, your inner guidance, your purpose, that is guided from a very deep inner wisdom. And so we're not talking about vision that comes from the ego, that comes from lack, that comes from scarcity, right? That comes from wounding, that comes from trauma. We're talking about vision that's really heart-aligned, soul-aligned, aligned with nature, aligned with our inner nature and outer nature. And this is what I'm talking about with visioning and manifesting. We are connecting to the part of you that is in abundance, that's aligned with abundance, that is beautifully creative, that's very powerful, that is deeply connected to all of life. And when we create from that place, everything that you're creating will not only be aligned with your inner nature and be in harmony with your body and your life, it will also create ripples of powerful change out into the world that's in harmony with all of life. That's in really honoring life, your own life and all life around you. And so for me, it's really important that we're tapping into this deeper vision, heart aligned, inner wisdom aligned, nature aligned visioning. And this is your true nature from the way that I see it and experience it. It's there, it's within you. So we want to first get clear on what we're visioning and holding that space for you. And so this requires some very sacred space to connect in with your vision, ideally each and every day. So with your vision, you want to create space where you feel calm, where you feel safe, where you're going to be uninterrupted, to connect, to listen, to feel, to hear, to see, Depends on how your inner guidance, your intuition speaks to you. And make space, ideally each and every day, to connect to your vision. You can do this through journaling, meditating, moving your body, being out in nature, creating space where you get out of the head, out of the mind, into the body, into the heart, and really tune in. And so this can be done in all sorts of ways. And it's really a creative practice to figure out, how do you connect to that inner vision? How do you connect best to your heart? How do you connect best to that inner guidance system? So it may take some practice, but that's first creating sacred space every day, ideally. I would say a minimum of 4 times a week to keep that flow happening, to keep that manifestation flow happening. So first is sacred space. So I'm curious, do you create sacred space for yourself? And sometimes we do and don't, or we go in and out of these practices. I'd love to know, what do you do to connect to that inner guidance, that inner wisdom, to your inner voice? What do you do to connect? Please share. Please share. I'd love to hear. So the other thing I'd like you to tune in and ask yourself now is, what do you need? So I'm going to ask this question to your heart, to your inner guidance. What do you need to connect to your vision, to really connect to your vision, to create that conversation, that dialogue, that relationship with your vision? What do you need to really honor this part of you, to listen to this part of you, to connect to this part of you? What do you need? And please listen. Please listen. And if that's space and time, which it probably will be, is what space and time do you need? What does that look like for you? What is that for you, right? What is the best way for you to connect to your vision? And please comment below. I'd love to hear what it is for you. What's the best way for you to connect to your vision? So I'm just going to give you a moment to tune in and connect into that. What's the best way for you to connect to your vision, to that inner guidance? Let's tune in. Really honoring and listening to what you need to really connect, to really connect. So some examples may be, and these are some of the things that I do, is meditation, getting out in nature, moving the body in a really conscious, mindful way. So that could be dance movements, for example. Sometimes it's sounding, getting sound out through the body, journaling, channeling, for example. What are some of those things for you? Please comment and share. I'd love to hear. So wonderful. So the first thing, we're creating sacred space, creating time to honor, to listen, to respect, to hear the wisdom and the guidance of your vision, your heart, your purpose, your soul, your higher self, whatever you want to call it. This great wisdom within you that is abundance. It's aligned with abundance. It is abundance, right? Beautiful. So this is about really connecting to that vision. And when you connect and listen, the next step is to embody that vision. So one of the keys to manifesting is becoming that which you want to see in the world, that which you want to create. So you want to create space where you welcome that vision into every single cell in your body. Every single cell in your body, you become the vibrational frequency of that which you want to manifest, that's which you want to create. You become and embody this part of you that is actually your true nature from my point of view, your true heart, consciousness, your essence. And so this is, again, it's a daily practice where you need to become it, step into the vibrational frequency of your vision. You become the embodiment of your vision. Our mind sees things from the outside in, but really it's an inside out job. So we want to step into that vibrational frequency, become that which you want to see in the world. So as you're in that, holding that sacred space for your vision, you want to be allowing your body to welcome that in. You're welcoming it in on a cellular level, through your nervous system and through your energetic body. But what's most important for manifesting is that it gets grounded through the body, so it can get grounded into physical reality. We need to bring it from those higher realms of consciousness and land it and ground it into the physical realm. And you can do that through the vehicle of your body. Through the vehicle of your body, then it expands out through the vehicle of your business, and then expands out through the vehicle of your bank account, and it gets materialized and reflected out through your life, starting within. Inner transformation for outer change. So I'm talking about things that are very profound relatively quickly today, but just wanted to sort of touch on that with you. So creating sacred space, creating time to connect to the vision, to listen to it, to hear it, to let it talk to you, let it communicate with you, let it show you. And that can be through vision, through inner hearing, through just inner knowing, through feeling, for example. And then you want to step into the vibrational frequency of that vision and start to embody it. And that is a daily practice. Again, a minimum of 4 times a week to keep this, this birth process happening. Okay, so let's take a deep breath and welcome this first step in. Welcoming this first step in. Thank you. Honoring the vision of your heart, of your soul, of your purpose, of your power. Really deep honoring and acknowledging is required for this part of you. This part of you has not been honored, that has not been honored, that has not been acknowledged, has not been listened to, has not been revered. And so it's really important then to turn this around. We go in and you go in and give yourself that honor, that acknowledgement, that deep listening, deep hearing, reverence for this part of you. Okay. So the next step is the transformation game, the sort of inner game that is a huge part of this work. And this is the unraveling or the releasing of what I lovingly call your abundance blocks. So the abundance blocks that stop you or block you from embodying this vision, from birthing this vision into reality. So this is very, very deep in a process, and one that really needs to be, again, honored and acknowledged. And I will be talking more about this, but we're going to touch on it today. So the transformation game is what we're doing when you're stepping into your vision. We're stepping into and embodying this vision. This is what's aligned with your heart. This is aligned with abundance. This is aligned with nature. But to do that, we need to work on dismantling, releasing, unhooking from all of the old systems, structures, programs that are keeping you in separation from your true heart-aligned power, that are keeping you in scarcity, that are keeping you in survival, that are keeping you in struggle, that are keeping you in not enough, that are keeping you in hard work, that are keeping you in sacrifice. All of these ways of being that we know all too well. And so what we're doing is a very, very deep and powerful work of dismantling, unhooking from some of these old programs. This is where your wounding lies. This is where your trauma lies. And it's from your own life, but also this ancestral trauma, ancestral wounding patterns and programs that have been handed down from generation to generation. It's also societal programming, your family programming from this lifetime, other lifetimes, if you believe in that. So there's a lot to unravel. There's a lot to unhook from. There's a lot to release, and there's a lot to heal. And so for me, it's very, very important that this is acknowledged just as deeply as the vision, because if you don't honor and acknowledge the wounding and the trauma, you will not be able to move forward. That trauma wounding will keep slamming you back and slamming you back and slamming you back again and again. And so this part needs to be honored. This is the shadow work, that you could call the vision, the light work, and you could call this abundance block releasing the shadow work, if you will. So it's just as important. And again, it needs to be honored, acknowledged, revered. It needs to be held in the deepest safety and care, because these parts of you have not been held in safety. And there's a lot of wounding and trauma there. So we're not going to go into a big practice now around that, but please know that this is an integral part of birthing your vision into reality. It's hard work. You know, it's not easy, and it is an ongoing process. I've been on this path for 25 years. It doesn't loosen up. It's like new level, new devil. So whatever you're expanding into, you're going to hit up against your wounding. You're going to hit up against your trauma. You're going to hit up against some of these old patterns and programs. And because there's some very old, very heavy stuff to clear and to release. Please just remember, this is not just about you. This is also about collective, real collective shifts that need to happen. But what I see is that we contribute to that collective shift by doing the inner work. So the only thing you can really, control, if you will, is your own life, your own body, your own inner game. We can't change other people. So start with you. Inner transformation for outer change. And I know that a lot of you do a lot of inner work already, so it's not necessarily new information. But when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to birthing your vision into reality, this is just as important as the visioning. So know that you might get this beautiful vision of, wealth and freedom and this lifestyle and love and health. And that's gorgeous, and we want that. But the journey to birth that into reality is to go through the old trauma and wounding that is part of this process, part of the birthing process, is to go through, in a way, those lower centers, those lower chakras, this sacral and the base. We hold a lot of our trauma in the base chakra. We hold a lot of wounding in the sacral chakras. We need to clear out the basement of the self to create new, beautiful foundations. Right? So please just know, honor, and acknowledge that this is part of it. We cannot bypass these steps. And this is where we come up against, spiritual bypassing. So you want to be all vision, all light and love, all feeling good, all peace and high frequency consciousness. And isn't that great? But it's not embodied. We need to embody it, and we embody it by going through the body into those lower centers, releasing, healing those old trauma and wounding. And yes, it's hard work. And yes, it's painful. But I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. And for this, I would love to ask you, what support do you need? What support do you need? Because from my experience, this is not something you want to be trying to do on your own. You can do a lot on your own, but you may hit up against parts of yourself that need support. I believe we need support. It's a need, not a weakness, right? So please ask yourself, what support do I need? Or what do I need to help me through some of these abundance blocks, right? The old patterns and programs, the belief systems, the trauma, the wounding that I need to release and heal to step into and embody this next level. And please ask your inner guidance to see what it tells you. Who or what can support me with this is one of my favorite questions. Who or what can support me with this? All right, beautiful. So thank you. So again, deeply honoring and acknowledging all that's within you that needs your deepest love and care to really shift and transform. And it's big stuff. It can be very, very, very confronting. So again, just please be kind, loving, and patient with yourself. It's not a failure. It's just part of the process. All right, so now the last step is a very, very important and integral part to manifesting, to birthing your vision into reality. And that's what I call aligned action. You are going to have to take action in order to support the manifestation process. Very practical, right? We need to build, we need to create, we need to do things in order to support the creation of your vision into reality. And I call it aligned action. So it's action that's coming from the heart, coming from the inner guidance, coming from your inner knowing, rather than action that's coming from the old beliefs and old programs, that's coming from those abundance blocks, because we've been trained in so much action that's actually detrimental to your vision. For example, the hard work paradigm or the sacrifice paradigm. The kind of sacrificing a part of yourself to get what you want paradigm. So aligned action will guide you to take action that's very focused, very direct, very clear, that's not based in wounding, right? That's not based in scarcity. So we want to be taking aligned action that's aligned with abundance, your true abundant nature. And this requires you to tune in and listen every day. So when you're in your sacred space visioning and you're in your sacred space releasing your abundance blocks, you want to also be asking at the end of that process, what aligned action do I need to take today? What is the most powerful, effective aligned action I can take today to take that next step towards my vision? And really tuning in and listening to what that is. Because there'll be lots of practical baby aligned action steps that you need to take to build, right? To build and create your vision. So this for me is a bit more of the masculine energy where we need to take that focused aligned action. Now, please bear in mind that the aligned action you're guided to take may, and I would probably say will, trigger your trauma wounding, because you're going to be asked to take action that really pushes up against all your buttons. And this is what I've found personally and professionally. And this is the challenge and also the gift. So again, it's really important. You're going to have to keep coming back to all that releasing work and the healing work and the transformation work as you go to take action. So you might take a little action. It might trigger some old wounding. You need to do lots of the healing and transformation work to then be able to take that next aligned action step. And so what I love about aligned action is it's also a very, very powerful part of your healing and transformational journey, that you can do a lot of healing and transformation work in that kind of passive, let's say that feminine energy and flow. And there's so much power in that. But there's also very powerful healing and transformation that happens through aligned action. So again, we take one baby step at a time, because you may get the guidance to, I don't know, let's say, write a book or speak on stages. And if you haven't been visible at all, that's going to be immensely confronting. And there'll be perhaps lots of little baby steps before you get to that point of being ready to be on that stage. And so just know that to be okay with small little baby action steps that don't necessarily look like they're getting you anywhere, but in time they will. This is a long game. I'm not interested in just fast action, miracle manifestations, which are wonderful and they happen on this journey, which is great. But we're also building sustainable systems for your future. So some of these things are going to take time, months, years. So we need to be in this for the long game. This isn't just about quick fix now. We've been very much trained in this sort of fast food culture. And this is part of these old programs, I believe, that are keeping us really separate and disconnected. We need to remember about sustainability and creating. You want to be thinking about creating and building foundations for a sustainable future. It's creating those foundations, those systems, those structures that are stable and strong, that will hold new growth for your future. So imagine if we think about a tree that needs to be planted deep into the soil, and the tree needs just as strong and deep roots as it can grow high. So the root system we can't see, but it goes very, very deep down into the earth for that tree to rise and grow. And it's the same within ourselves. We need very strong, solid foundations and roots within to grow and expand to higher heights. So this is what I want you to think about with aligned action, is that you're building the foundations, aligned foundations, right? That will really hold you and support you for your future. Okay. So please let me know if there's any aligned action you're being guided to take. I would love to hear. So ask yourself, what is that next best aligned action step you're being guided to take at this time? Even if it terrifies you, please write in the comments. I'd love to hear. I'd love to know. And again, just like the vision, we honor the aligned action in the same way, right? Honor it, acknowledge it, listen to it. You don't have to act on it right now, but you want to keep tuning into it and listening. Who or what can support me with this? If it feels too daunting, too big for you to do on your own, really listen. Okay, this is what I'm being guided to do. All right, show me how. What is that next best step? If I just can't face it on my own, who or what can support me with this? But don't give up on that, because your aligned action is connected to the vision, and they go together, right? Lots of little baby steps will bring you into this beautiful vision. So we've got your vision, we've got the inner transformation game, the healing, the transformation, releasing those abundance blocks, and then really grounding into aligned action. So we're grounding your vision into reality by taking action, by building those systems, sustainable systems, structures, foundations that support you and support your growth. And that also, of course, will send ripples of transformation out into the world around you as well. So my beautiful one, thank you so much for joining me for this very important conversation. If you have any questions for me, please don't hesitate to comment in the comment box, or you're also very welcome to private message me. And I wanted to let you know as well that I've opened up 5 spaces next week to book in for if you want any extra support with this, for a free abundance activation session with me. And what we will do is spend time really getting clear on your vision that is guided by your heart. And I hold space for that. That's one of my gifts, is to help you tap into what is in alignment. And we'll look at the abundance blocks that need your love and care right now. And we end the session with really clear next best aligned action step. It's a really powerful free session. And I'd love to offer that to you if you'd like to get support with that next step. All right, beautiful ones, thank you for joining me today. It's my absolute pleasure and joy to connect with you. Deepest love and respect and honor to all of you as you journey on this path. And I would look forward to being with you again very, very soon.